Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Ron Roberts, presented by Brady's Restaurant here in downtown Hammond. Let's go out to Birmingham, Alabama, and check out the highlights as your Lions took on UAB.
Well, the Blazers used their defense to get on the board first on the game's third play of the game when Marvin Burdett intercepted a Nathan Stanley pass on 3rd and 3 at the Southeastern 32. Picked up a pair of blocks and scored on a 36-yard touchdown with 13:34 remaining in the first half. After forcing the Lions to go 3 and out on its next drive, the Blazers drove 68 yards in 4 plays to extend their lead to 14-0. A false start penalty and a pair of incomplete passes by Brown forced 3rd and 15. The freshman found Jackie Williams for a 20-yard gain to the UAB 47. One play later, Brown found Greg Franklin down the left sideline, and the running back scored on a 53-yard touchdown with 10:42 remaining. The Blazers took a 21-0 lead as they drove 78 yards in 13 plays, with Franklin capping the drive with a 16-yard run off right tackle. UAB capitalized on a 5-yard penalty by Southeastern after the Lions held on 4th and 8 at the Southeastern 39. And following 4th down attempt, Brown found Darren Reeves in the right flat for a 4-yard gain to give the Blazers a first down at the Southeastern 30. Franklin scored 4 plays later with 4:09 remaining. Southeastern got on the board as time expired in the first half as the Lions drove 50 yards in 8 plays. Stanley found Blaine LeBlanc for 13 yards and Jeff Smiley for 24 as the Lions quickly drove to the UAB 29. Seth Sebastian capped the drive for the Lions where he drilled a 33-yard field goal, cut the UAB lead to 31-3.
Well, Coach, I know when you go on the road and you take on an FBS opponent, you want to start well, and this game just didn't really get out the gates the way you wanted to, and they kind of took out some frustration there, I think, in this ball game.
Well, I said going in, I thought they were a dangerous football team. They had played some tough, they played some tough teams and played them really tough. Ohio State, they played them really tough. The Tulsa game, they lose, and the game they probably walked those games and felt they had opportunities to win the games and kind of shot themselves in the foot. Very talented team. Again, it was hungry for a W, and came in there. I think with their side sets on this is the best, this is the best opportunity they had to get one. So they came out in full force.
Well, Coach, now being able to step back and take a look at the game tape and watch the tape, what's some things that stood out in the game? What's some things we did well in this ball game?
Well, you can start. I think Bo Moth had a huge day. He averaged 50 yards a punt. That's great. We hit a field goal before the half. It was nice. We put together a couple of drives there. Put together a drive right before the half, come up with a field goal. When we executed things, we looked good. Some of the execution was poor on our part. Some of it was just being exploited execution by UAB. Their athletic ability, their speed, some of their size up front exploited some things in us that maybe we haven't seen in the last couple of weeks. But obviously, with more talented people you face, those weaknesses will be exploited. And we saw several of that, especially in the first half.
Well, the Lions were stuffed out of Southland Conference play this week, but everybody else was in conference play. And we take a look at the Southland Conference standings now as they pop right there on your screen. And, Coach, everybody's played a conference game. Some have played 3. Most have played 2. And your club's the only team that's undefeated right now. I know a lot of people watched this weekend as Sam Houston State took on Stephen F. Austin, a game that Sam Houston State won. So right now, the only unblemished team in the conference is your club.
Right. The great spot to be sitting in when you control your own destiny. You get into October and you have an opportunity to control your own destiny. That's huge. We just got to take one game at a time. This is a huge game for us this coming Saturday against Northwestern, and then we're going to have a bye week to get ready for Central Arkansas. So I think our schedule's set up for us to help us. And this game is huge for us to come out here and play like we're playing for all the marbles on Saturday.
All right, now it's time to take a look at our Lion Profile of the Week. And this week, we're going to take a look at Mr. Ray Knockan.
His history with Southeastern dates back 60 years. Meet Mr. Ray Knockan, owner of Hammond Nursing Home. Ray first showed up in Hammond in 1952 as a freshman out of Thibodaux College, which served as a parochial high school for Sacred Heart in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Knockan played football in high school from the 4th grade until he graduated in 1951. Upon graduating, Knockan had offers to play football at Southwest Louisiana, Tulane, and Auburn. But 2 of his teammates from Thibodaux forced Knockan to take a trip to Hammond to meet second-year Lion head coach Stanley Galloway.
I was an all-state football player at a very small school, and 2 of the graduates of Thibodaux College were students at Southeastern, and I was gone to work in the oil field. And one day when I came in from a job on a natural gas pipe truck. The two of them grabbed hold to me and said they were taking me to Southeastern to go talk to Galloway. Well, when I got down here, he wasn't here. He was out recruiting.
Ray returned to Hammond a second time to meet with Coach Galloway once he found a ride to Hammond.
The only means I had to get to Hammond was a ride on a milk truck. And Acadia Dairy was going down to Roseland to get a bulk tank full of milk. And so I caught a ride with them, and they left me off on the highway by Weston Avenue, and then, walked to school.
The tryout went okay, except for a busted nose, but Coach Galloway liked the toughness that he saw in Knockan.
Walt Andrews popped me in the nose, and it was pretty rough, but I was sort of hot-headed, and I said, when they wanted to call it quits, I said, no, I didn't get my licks in, So they put us back underneath the pine trees to start working out again, and they beat the daylights out of me.
After making the team, Knockan hit the practice field, but like most Lion football players, he seemed to catch the wrath of the hard-nosed coach.
He got aggravated at me for not following what he didn't think I was following his direction, and so he decided he was going to teach me a lesson. So he lined the football team up. He put 4 dummies up and put me in the middle, and he split the team up, and they would have taken me out of that square.
Knockan played the 1952 and 1953 seasons and then joined the military before returning to Southeastern in 1956, where he met and worked for the love of his life.
Well, that's the reason why I met her, is I went to work as a student helper in the film library, and she was running the film library. And so I was in there cleaning films and, most of the time watching films. The only thing missing was the popcorn.
Knockan graduated from Southeastern in 1958, married Ruth, and moved to Baton Rouge to go to work selling life insurance. The couple had 2 children, Marcus and Michelle. In 1969, Ray went to work for a nursing home, and in 1974 decided to start his own nursing home facility.
It worked out because as soon as we opened the doors at a nursing home, it wasn't long after that we totally occupied it.
Hammond Nursing Home is still going strong today, and in 2008, through the family's generosity, a new strength and conditioning center was dedicated in Mr. Ray's name, and Knockan was happy to give back to the school who had given so much to him.
Getting a college education, being the first in the family to get a college education, there's a lot of pride in that, And then when you think of something permanent, I was there, look at McGee Hall, and you keep on looking at the different names and facilities, and then you say, look, there's a name that's not common in this area, and it's going to be there forevermore.
Ray and Ruth continue to do great things in this community, and just last year, Miss Ruth was named the Woman of the Year for the Hammond Junior Auxiliary.
She's very low-keyed, and to receive this was a great honor in the feeling, how it promoted her and everything else, because if you look at all the other things that she does, and she's not boastful, and she's very sincere.
So after 60 years of being around Southeastern, Knockan is very proud of his school.
This is a first-class university. This is not just some little small country town type university. This is a university with international ties, and this university is so well regarded in the core groups of local universities, and it's at the very top.
Coach, obviously, Mr. Ray Knockan, a big part of Southeastern athletics. The strength and conditioning facility is named after him, and due to his generous donations. This is a guy who's really involved in Southeastern football.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job supporting Southeastern. He's a great community member. I know he's involved in several other things in our community, and just an ideal citizen, what you're looking for.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from head ladies basketball coach here at Southeastern, Miss Lori Davis-Jones, as she is going to tell us about the Swabbin' for Robin campaign as for Robin Roberts here, a famous alumni from Southeastern Louisiana University. And we'll also meet with linebackers coach Carl Scott right here on Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Ron Roberts, presented by Brady's Restaurant right here in downtown Hammond.